Hello everyone. How's everybody doing today? Today is Wednesday, June 5th, and happy Mother's Day, not Mother's Day, happy birthday to my mother-in-law is what I meant to say today. Not happy Mother's Day, that's gone by. So happy birthday to Patty. I don't think she's watching, but in case she tunes in, hi Karen, how are you? We are back today with day 3 of the Mediterranean Blooms or Citrus Blooms bundle, Mediterranean Blooms Suite or Citrus Blooms bundle. And this is my day 3 card. I am Alana Worf, Sleepless Stamper in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And Stampin' Up! Has this amazing Mediterranean Blooms Suite that I have been featuring this week. And I, of course, do not have my catalog. 1 second. I'm just having somebody pass it to me here. How are you today, Karen? And I will show you guys again today what is included in the bundle, as well as the DSP. It's so pretty. I do not have the gems because they are not currently available. I will have to check the ETA on those. They should be coming back soon, so hopefully that is the case. And right now we do have a special on the bundle, so I'm going to show that to you first. Starting today, we have 10% off on bundles and the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, as well as the mini Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. Hi Linda, how are you? So this is the Citrus Blooms bundle. It has these dies here that go with, sorry, my one son is picking up my other son to go to musical practice or rehearsal. So you're going to hear the dog for a second, even though the door is closed. So we have this die here that coordinates with this image. This one coordinates with this image. We have 2 sets that coordinate with these little blossoms here. So it's nice when you can stamp them twice and then die cut them twice at the same time. And then you have these leaf elements here that you can just die cut separately. They don't coordinate with a stamp, but they're just extra accents, which I have been using all week. So I'll show you those again today too. So that is the bundle. It is beautiful. Don't know how I thought I was going to not purchase this one. Then, sorry, there is the most beautiful part of it, I think, is this die here. So you have this frame that you can die cut just the frame, or you can cut this frame with it so that you get this nice outlined frame here, or you can cut just the greenery within the center of a piece of cardstock and not cut out the frame. So there's 3 different ways to use this one here, or 3 traditional ways. There are different ways that you can come up with to use it as well, but those are the 3 traditional ways of using that one. All right, now we have some of the different DSP that you can see here. We've got this pattern that I used yesterday. We have this pattern from Monday, and then I'm using this soft yellow pattern today. Now there is also these really pretty lemons, which is where this lemon came from. We also have this one here, which is where the oranges on here came from. And then, let's see, we also have this one, and I've got another one here. Okay, so then we have this yellow with this, oh, that's that one there, and then this one here. So those are them. Now let me just make sure I've got them all for you guys. I'm gonna just put this down and actually go through my full half pack. I ordered extra of this today with my 10% off order so that anyone who earns the kit this week I'll have the DSP for you. So we'll just restart this. We have the lemons that we can die cut or fussy cut actually, and this on the back. Then we have this oranges and lemons. I have a plan for this one, so this might be Friday's project, with this on the back, and I'm actually using this side tomorrow. Got that one planned out. Then we have these, I love this one, these beautiful lemons with this on the back. I just have to be cautious of which one I use for the last 2 days so that I have enough. We have this beautiful one that I'm using today with these on the back. We have these oranges with that on the back, and then these oranges with that on the back. So that is the full, look at all those. I feel like I might have 1, 2, 3, hi, bye. Ethan stuck his head in the door and then he's turning around and leaving again. Picked Lennon up for rehearsal. There we are. So that is the DSP. The DSP alone is worth this sweet. Okay, so we're going to put this one aside and I will create this one for you guys. All right, if you would like to earn these card kits for this week, if you are interested in placing a $65 order with this host code, you will qualify to receive all of the card kits from this week's cards. And then that offer will close Sunday. So if you are interested in doing that, just message me that you want the Mediterranean Blooms Suite class, and I will send that off to you next week. Okay, so I went with All the Love again today. There are not a lot of greetings in this stamp set, so if you don't have this stamp set, so far, it's mostly just greetings I've stamped on these cards. Okay, it's mostly greetings and DSP. So you could easily participate so far, even if you don't have the stamp set, and including today, because you could switch these greetings out for anything. And that is the same for this one here. I will get to doing some more stamping. So the last couple days, we'll see what I bring to you guys. But so far, you could still complete them even without the stamp set. Just use a different greeting. So because there isn't a lot, I was very tempted to use something else, but I went with All the Love again. So I am going to do that. I do have a pre-die cut piece, but I'm actually going to stamp it and then die cut it. So I will show you the elements here that I have. I have a crumb cake, 4 1/4 by 11 layer. I have a layer of 4 by 5 1/4 white that is going to go inside. I have a layer of 4 by 5 1/4 navy. I need to clean up the edge there a little bit. That is going on the front. And then I have a 4 by 5 1/4. Now let me just check. I might have trimmed that one down once I got assembling. So I am just going to confirm that detail for you. I apologize. I had to switch the time today, you guys. I have a class tonight at 7. So almost like right after I got off the live yesterday, I realized that I cannot do. I told you guys 7 and I can't do that. I knew that there was something else that was nagging at me. That was another reason why we couldn't do evening or that late in the evening. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4 and I'm going to tear it a little bit. I have pre-die cut this frame from Radiating Stitches. These are an online exclusive. I'm not entirely sure if they're currently available, but they are supposed to be coming back in if they're not, and they may even already be back. But I layered these 2 frames here. I've taped them together so that I could get this little frame. By layering the 2, if you do just one, then you get the shape as opposed to the frame. So I'll show you here. This is the inside, and if I were to have just cut the larger one, I would have gotten a piece like this. But by layering the smaller one inside, it also cut the inside to create that frame. So that's how you can get a frame with your Radiating Stitches. Perhaps I should have left that to show you guys, but I went ahead and pre-prepped that. I do have to make sure that I make it to my class on time. So do as many things as I can ahead of time. So that is the frame. I'm going to fussy cut the lemons, and then I will also fussy cut some of the little flowers again, and I'm going to stamp this greeting for you guys. I'm good, Karen. And then I have some layers that I will put on the inside here, and I will show you what I did with this little one. I have a little bit of I can feel a little bit of adhesive there, so that's got to come off. That does not feel nice. There we go. All right, that was an adhesive eraser I used. So this one here, I'm going to trim just a little bit off the end. You can envision this here, that this piece and this piece were a 4-inch strip, and this came off the end. So I have used this piece to cut that little strip that is going to be on the inside of the card. All right, so I will stamp first with All the Love on a scrap of white, and then I will die cut that for you guys. So I actually have, we're gonna try this and see if this will work. Let's just test it out and make sure first that I have enough room for this to fit. Okay, we'll give it a try. This was just sitting there. This is the inside of one of these. So we're gonna give it a go. Hi, Monica, how are you? I hope all is well there. Alrighty, so we're gonna stamp this right in the middle and hopefully that will work. Tonight I have my ephemera pack class. We will be making the ephemera cards that I was showing you guys over the last couple of weeks. I'm excited to make another set of them. And who knows, maybe I'll continue. I have another one actually that I haven't posted yet. All right, so I'm centering this on here. Hopefully it looks okay once I get it in the die cutting machine. I'll bring the little one on screen today. So I'm just going to move this and close this so I don't get anything in there. Alrighty. I still haven't planted my veggies yet, guys. I hope I will have time to do that tonight. There's just always so many things to do. Do you guys who are here plant? Karen, you were telling me that you hadn't done your flowers or veggies yet. You do a bit of both. There we are. We do probably more flowers than veggies, but I'm thinking this year, I don't know. Oh, that is sliding. I did tape that mat down, but it's not working very well. We usually do zucchini, but they always get that powdery mildew so terribly that I don't know if I'm going to do zucchinis this year. So if I don't, I have to figure out what's going to go in that spot. I don't want to not use it. So we will see. Now I need to just put this back in my magnetic tray, and I will throw away that scrap at this point. All right. So we have that, and now I need to cut. I'll bring back in the card so you can see what I'm prepping towards in case anybody new jumps in. Now I have this one here, and I am going to use my little cutter. I think I need to stick another, and try to get that to stick down. Cut this little 1/2 inch piece. So this piece I'm cutting, I'll just show you, is going to go on the inside here. And it is a 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to put this to the 1/2 inch mark. It is already 4 inches wide, and either of these will be a 1/2 inch, so it really doesn't matter which one it is. There we go. Yeah, I was saying with the garden, I need to figure something else out to go where the zucchini are. Oh, you lost me? Oh, shoot. Hopefully, now we have new lines to the house, so it better not be our connection here. Although, did it drop earlier today? I hope not. I feel like something happened earlier. I have one more thing I need to do before I can work on fussy cutting and assembly. So this little element here, I don't know, I'm gonna try to catch the detail there for you guys. It is actually slightly textured. I just took a little strip of navy scrap. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece off of here. So I do actually need to bring that cutter back in. And then I didn't want it just plain, so I added just a little bit of texture to it with my embossing folder. So I'm going to cut a strip, and then I will run that one through. Now this one is larger, so I cannot fit this through the little stamp cut and emboss machine. This one needs to go through the big one, but this is the new Dashing Designs 3D folder in the new annual catalog. One of the viewers, I can't remember who it was, but one of the first times I used this said it looks like Bounty, and I cannot unsee that. So there was something I thought it looked like the other day too. Can't remember what it was, but I loved that. It's Bounty. Okay, so I have about 1/8 inch here, and there we are. Just gonna rest that. The spring in here is broken, so that likes to drop down now. So just bear with me while I pull this out and put it down. There we are. Oh, I need it one more time. I'm gonna cut this down to 3 3/4. So this is about 1/8 inch wide. I'm gonna tuck it in here, go to the 3 3/4 line, and then cut. Now just this little piece is what I'm going to line up in my folder. There we are. and place this in here. Hey, Karen, I don't know if you had no connection to me while I was saying this, but I was saying I probably will not plant zucchini this year, but I have a whole garden box for them. So what do you suggest that I put in place of zucchini? Cucumbers usually go next to them, which probably, I don't know, that's maybe a faux pas, I'm not sure. But, and we'll still probably do cucumbers, but the zucchini and cucumber usually both get powdery mildew, but we usually get a decent amount of cucumbers first and only a couple zucchini first. So it's not worth all the hassle. I'd rather plant something else we could enjoy. So there we are. That has just a little bit of texture. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we're going to put that aside, and I will do the fussy cutting before we start on assembly. Okay. So today I went with the lemon that has more. I have been using the lemon and the orange that were a single. And today I'm going to use one that has 2. So that should be the same. I am going to use that one. So I'll just cut into the portion that is closest to where I've been cutting everything else off, keeping as much of the rest of my paper intact as possible. Thinking, yeah, I don't know. Somebody was talking about potatoes the other day, and I don't know if I could put potatoes in there. We are going to replace all the soil in it, just in case there's something in the soil or any, I don't know, traces of that. I don't really know how that works, but just in case, we plan to replace the soil in that planter. So we're not too sure what to put in there, but I don't want to put nothing in there. It's sitting there, so it may as well get used. So I know I'm going to put a little flower here, and then I have one that's a little bit larger on the inside. And believe it or not, that is not dimensional, but this one here will do. And then I'm just being cautious as well not to cut too close to anything remaining on my page. So what are your top bundles, everybody? Well, the bundles are 10% off for the rest of the month. What is top on your list? I want to know what you guys like. All right, so here is all this. Now I just need to fussy cut, and then we're good for assembly. So we'll just start up here. I have a scary amount of what exists in the catalog already. Oh, and you guys, I actually got more artisan stuff today. I didn't even think to bring it, but I don't have time with having a class right after, but maybe tomorrow I can show you what else is in there. I think there might be something new in it, like something brand new that isn't in the catalog. Like there might be some more pre-order stuff in there. Some of it is like annual catalog stuff that they just supplement us with so that we have extra product to use. But I think there might be some new pre-order stuff. And we are allowed to show it. We just cannot show you our projects until our projects post. So that will be the catch. So if you have not fussy cut before, the trick is to keep your cutting hand somewhat steady and do most of the movement with your non-cutting hand. And then you saw there, I just folded this part forward a little bit so that I could see that leaf behind it. So just turning, lots of cutting. It's too bad there isn't a die for the lemons too. I love the lemons. And actually, you guys will have to tell me while I'm fussy cutting this. I was going to color this like a lemon, and I was like, I don't know, that shape is just so much like an orange. So I don't know if anybody has tried it, but I switched gears and went with this DSP instead. I started off with trying to color for you guys today, and then I decided no, I would just use the DSP because I already had my layout planned and my background paper, So I didn't want to switch to oranges. Not to say that you can't put an orange on that paper, but it was just my plan. We're almost done. Make a plum. Oh, that's a good idea. It totally could pass for a plum. It's like that peach set from years ago, Karen. Do you remember that one when I made cherries with it and blueberries maybe? And then people made, I think, plums and grapes too. There were so many possibilities with that little peach set. So yeah, might have to try that. Okay, so there is the feature lemon. Now I hid these two little ones underneath here, so I need to fussy cut these as well. So we're just going to, I know I could die cut them. I just really like how close of a cut I can get by using my snips. So I'm just being picky. That is all, just being picky. There we are, there's one. And then we have number 2. Would you guys say forget it and just use the dies if it were you? Let me know. I can't believe how many promotions there are on right now. I am not using my glass mat today, but you guys, if you are a demo, don't forget you can pre-order the glass mat starting today. And there's a whole bunch of new bundles on pre-order for demos today. Everybody can get 10% off bundles today. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. If you are on the team, I have more graphics to post for you guys today. I actually missed some of the pre-order stuff myself. I'm not sure that I would have necessarily ordered it because I can't get it all at once. But yeah, I will post those graphics for you guys so that you have access to them. So now that is our fussy cutting. I'm sorry, there goes Ruby. You can probably hear her. And now we are going to move on with assembly. So there's one little technique here that I need to do. And what I forgot to tell you guys is this is actually playing along with the global, Global Design Project. I nearly got that wrong. So Global Design Project, this week they have a sketch challenge, I believe it is, or Case the Designer. So Krista Fratton from Edmonton has created a card, and this is my Case the Designer card. So you can always play along with them. So if you create a card with this layout, you can post it on your social media and tag them. I need to determine what, I think it might be GDP, hashtag GDP448. I need to check if it's 448 or a different number, but you can just hop onto their Instagram and then you'll see their challenge and you can play along. So I will post this later as my challenge to play along with them. I try to incorporate their challenge into whatever my weekly challenge is going to be. And then also the sketch challenges, I should note what page number these are on, but I'm going to show you real quick. Page 22. We have all of these really fun sketches, and tomorrow's card comes from there. So I'm excited to show you guys tomorrow's card tomorrow. So first though, I am going to tear this edge. There was a border on her card, and I'm finding we don't really have border dies right now. So I was going to play around with, I cut this out here. I cut a piece of the perennial postage dies, and I was going to try that, but I knew I already had my navy base, so I decided to just paper tear. So I went ahead to tear it this way. It needed to be a little narrower so that when I tilted it, that's what the design looks like that I'm casing. So the top layer is angled slightly, and the border is on this side. So I decided that in order to be able to see this color behind it, that would be what I would do, is just do some paper tearing. So I'm just going to tear it, but I will give you guys a little tip so that you know one method of an easier way to do your paper tearing. So what you can do, again, I'm not going to, well, maybe I will actually. Give me 1 second. You can take your aqua painter and just run that down the side, and that will soften the fibers a little bit so that you can more easily tear it. So let's see here, and then it'll just dry. So see, look at how easy that is to tear. 1 second, I will be right back. Someone's here for something that Ryan's not sure. I'm honest, I don't like this bundle. You don't like it, Linda? Oh, well, thank you for tuning in to watch anyway. I love this bundle. 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. All right, so now I will just tear this. Hopefully the ideas, Linda, will give you ideas that you can use with other bundles that you do like. You can always take the layouts or the techniques. Now I should always stabilize the other side so that it doesn't just rip all over the place. There we go. So that definitely made that easier to tear than when I made the sample and did not soften that. And it also gives it a little bit of a distressed looking edge, a little bit more. So there we are. Now what I will do, move these. I'll know, I'll message you after, Linda. Oh, wrong one first. Okay, so I said I needed to clean up this edge, so I'm going to do that. I don't want that fuzzy edge there. You can see here there's a little bit of fraying when that was cut. So we're just gonna clean that up. I always tell you guys, clean the layers as you go, and then you're happier with the end result. So I'm not adhering this one yet. And actually the other side, I have the hiccups again. The other side is a little bit frayed as well. Hear that? There we go. I've got to redo that end. I don't know what's up with that. Slightly frayed. There we go. Nope. Top little piece is still there. Doesn't want to cut nice, everybody. Don't know what's up with that. I'm gonna have to just take slightly more than 4. There we are. I'll have to see, look at that. The little bits there. Okay, so this is just going to sit here. I'm just dry fitting at this point. I am not gluing that down just yet. This will allow me to glue this down. I'm going to adhere the angled one, and my linen thread wraps around both. So that is why I don't want to yet adhere down the navy. But I do want to be able to, I always lose my, what is that called? Stamp and seal. I don't know why. It's right in front of my face, literally right in front of my face. Okay, so I'm just going to run a little bit of adhesive up that, and then place this back down just roughly where it's going to go. And then I can take this and angle it some so that I can see. Now, you know what? I am going to trim a little bit off the width. I should have dry fit this first and I didn't. But see here how I don't see as much? I don't want that. I want to see a little bit more of the blue. So I'm actually going to trim a slight amount off the straight side. And I actually had to do this earlier too. I forgot that. So I should have cut this down to like 3 7/8 instead of 4. There we go. And that is why, there we are. My guide is a little sticky because I did that earlier too. So never fear, you can usually clean things up. Look at all those stray bits off the navy that were not clean. Okay, so we're going to line this back up again. Now we can take this And now we'll see just a little bit more of the navy. We don't want to completely hide it. And I know some of you just cannot do the crooked paper. It's a little squirrely for me too, but I do like it still. Now I actually feel like I am going to angle that just a little bit more because it doesn't look obvious on the bottom corner here. There we go. That's a little better. It looks more intentional now. This was too even before, and I did not love that. All right, so next what I need to do is tie the linen thread around and tie a bow. I layered all of this stuff on top of the linen thread. So you can see here, it feeds underneath the frame and underneath all of that. So that was my reason that I needed to attach the DSP to the navy, but not yet attach the navy to the card base, because otherwise then it would be tricky to wrap this around and tie a bow. So we're just gonna wrap that. Hi Audrey, how are you? I always love it when you guys tune in with me. It's nice to have company. I know some people will visit the replay, and I love that too. It's just always nice to have some people here with me. And then I do post these. Ryan's been working, I shouldn't say Ryan posts them on YouTube for me afterwards. So I'm going to just cut this down so that I can more easily tie my bow. And as usual, I am going to just stick a tiny little glue dot that I have here underneath my knot. Okay, so I'm going to take these two ends, tie a knot, and then I am going to, it's probably not quite that low, so we're going to move up just a little bit. It's not quite down to half. It's not a third, but it's also not quite half. So I am going to tuck my glue dot right here. I may have to move it slightly, but I'm going to start with this and tie. Hey Sandy, how are you? And Alexina from Nova Scotia. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Nova Scotia, we've got North Dakota, right? Sandy, do you consider North Dakota or Minnesota? Let me know. And we've got Manitoba. I love it. All right, so that is tied on there. Now I want to just do a quick dry fit and make sure before I tape this down with the bow tied there that my frame and everything else is going to line up. So this is just a dry fit again. I'm not adhering these just yet. And this looks like it'll probably be okay. I want the little bow to sit right in that nook there. And it was a little bit of fussing with it the first time. So there we go. That looks about right. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. And I do have a little bit of flexibility if needed. So I'm going to put some tape on the back of this. So I have tear and tape, and I'm going to do this over, oh gosh, Stamp and Seal, because I want this to hold really well with the linen thread adding some space between the cardstock, the two layers of cardstock. So bear with me while I do this. That's one of those, I'm a little picky about some things, right? I was telling you guys before. Yeah, exactly, Audrey. Like these, it doesn't matter what bundle you have. You can use the layouts or the ideas for whatever you have at home. I love it when you guys take an idea. I mean, I love it when you case too, but I love it when you like case and make it your own as well and use the theories that you learn. I just need to make sure my card fold is the right way. Oh, there's Ruby at the door. Okay, sorry guys. Now on the back of this, I'm actually going to dimensional that guy. So I'm going to grab some of my black dimensionals so I can cut some frames off of them. I saw part of somebody's live yesterday. I don't remember who it was. Or it was a post or something. They were talking about how they refer to things. And I almost commented, I always refer to things like in terms of like little guy, and that was sort of the type of comment that they were making. I didn't end up commenting, but I always say that, little guy. I don't know why. Probably shouldn't say that, should I? All right, I have some more frames there. Just gathered up my black frames. Now I'm using black because I don't want the white to be so stark with the navy. So I'm just cutting the straight borders off, and these should allow me some pieces to put behind that there. Okay. So now I'm just going to get this ready with some black dimensional framing. Do you guys do this? Do you cut your frames off and use them? Tell me I'm not alone. There we go. I'll add a little bit more here, and I'll probably need a little bit more yet. Need another little piece for in here. You don't have to frame out the whole thing. I tend not to do every little piece. Okay, so now I will just snip another little piece from here. And your paper snips are great for cutting those. I don't know what I would do without paper snips. I have other scissors that I use for other things. Yeah, use those frames. I have and sometimes I purposely save the frames for when I need this, so I tend to not cut them to use them for little pieces. I save the frames so that when I need to frame out something like this or a shaker card or something like that, then I have those little pieces. Now, part of the reason for attaching this at this point instead of before I put this down is so that I can line this up straight with the card base. I had accidentally put this, not accidentally, I just wasn't thinking about it. I put this straight down on the DSP on my sample, and then I actually peeled it off once it was on the card because I had put it straight to the DSP instead of straight to the card, and I wanted it straight to the card in the end. All right, so now we are going to put dimensionals on here, and we can just use up some of these little guys. Now I do need to be careful. I don't want one right behind here because it overlaps the frame. So I'm going to be careful to not put that one right where that goes over the frame. But I do want to support it fairly well. And same here, that overlaps the frame. So I don't want to go right where that is. And then I'll put one in the middle. There we are. And I actually put one on the little leaf too. And it's got to be set back. Whoopsie, didn't mean to. Got to be set back far enough that it doesn't go over that little frame. Do any of you who are watching have this bundle? And if you don't, are you ordering it now that they're 10% off? It is a pricey bundle, so that extra 10% off makes a big difference, I find. This one is, there we go, a pricey one. Now, this will just tuck right in here. So I am going to do a partial, let's see, I don't even think I need to double, well, should I double dimensional that? I will dimensional the corner, but I think I'm going to use half dimensionals instead of full. So I'm not going to use the black ones actually on there. I am going to use the white ones because the label is white, and I have one left here. So I'm going to snip that guy in half. See, that guy, I always refer to them as that guy. And this is going to go in that top corner where it will overlap or not sit on the leaf. So I'm going to burnish that down, peel the backing off, and I need a double decker because these things are already raised one level, and this is going to sit dimensional on top of those, on top of the lemons. So I need to raise up the corner of it 2 levels. There we are. And that should sit. Now, some people would take the little mini dimensionals and actually tuck it right in here, and then that way it's not so much of a guessing game. So if you're more comfortable doing that, you could always do that. There we are. And now that little bow, I don't even need to adjust where it's sitting. I think I adjusted it like 5 times on my sample, but I'm not going to adjust it on this one. I'm just gonna leave it right where it is. I'm happy with that. Now we have a few elements left. All right, so, sorry, it's a mess here. So I have the little flower here. I wanted to add just a little something extra in here. And then I'm gonna put some rhinestones on, and then we'll dress up the inside. So these are for the inside. I will grab this guy and a glue dot. Everything is this guy. It's just all this guy. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I don't think I ever refer to anything as this girl. I don't know why. All right, maybe because all I have is boys. So now this is gonna get a small rhinestone. I have been using rhinestones this week. Just makes it easy. I don't have the gems that go with the sweet. So I have 2 small ones, and I've showed you guys this before, but I separate the sizes of my rhinestones because sometimes I end up with an abundance of one size, and then it just saves time from digging through one container to find a certain size. And then also when I have prep helpers, it's easier for them. So this is the medium, the small, and the small, and now that is the front of the card. Now I will assemble the inside. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4 layer of basic white. I have my 1/2 inch by 4 strip of the DSP that matches the front, and I'm actually going to attach this first. I want to make sure that if there's any discrepancy, which I don't think there is, I just did that quick dry fit there, and I think that they are the same width, but sometimes when you're prepping your layers, there is a slight difference from one to another. So I will do layer by layer, and if there's any discrepancy, I just clean it up as I go. So this is about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom, roughly. There's no exact measurement, I just eyeballed it, and there is a slight discrepancy here. So I'll bring back in my little cutter and I'll just trim that tiny little bit off. It's just a hair. So we'll just, there we go, cut that off. It played nicer with me on this one, the navy, but see that, it's just a tiny little bit, but now I don't have to worry that those are going to be uneven. Now these layers don't go over the edge, so before I add the bulk of this, I'm actually going to attach this. Now I also tell you guys that I don't like using Tombow to glue my basic white layers down because the tip leaves a little indent, so I'm going to use my tear and tape on here. Whoopsie, that didn't grab nicely. And I'm also not going to put it right to the edge. But now I don't have any of those indents from the Stampin' Seal. Did I say tear and tape? I meant Stampin' Seal. I think I did say tear and tape. There we are. Now I've got this little 1/8 by 3 3/4 strip of navy. Hi Shell, how are you? And I textured this, in case you're just hopping in, I textured it with this Dashing Designs folder. Now, if you were gonna do a bunch of these, you could just emboss a piece and then cut off the little 1/8 of an inch that you needed. And you could also just leave it with no texture. I just wanted to add a little bit of texture to it. Okay, so now this little strip is just embellishing the strip of DSP. There we are. Whoopsie. And then we're going to glue dot. Now this one doesn't have a stem, so I am going to see if I prefer it with a stem or without. I'll leave the stem on this time, and I will glue dot this guy down. There we are. That's just going to go right here. And then I'm going to take this little flower that I fussy cut earlier. How are you, Shell? It feels like forever now since we've seen each other. I know it was only April, but you have so much fun with a group of people and then time goes by and it feels like it's been a long time. All right, so that is the inside. I can't decide whether I should snip off that little stem or not. I feel like it's not quite aligned properly. I'm gonna just wiggle that off. I'll leave the stem for now, but I'm going to just readjust. Now here's a trick. If you just kind of wiggle in a circle, it will come off more easily. There we go. There we are. So that is the inside. And here is the outside. You could always stamp a greeting on the inside here too if you wanted to, but I didn't yesterday and just didn't even think about it today. I probably should have, but I will show you guys the weekly lineup so far. And then hopefully before I hop onto my class, I will have a moment to photograph these so I can post them later. But this was Monday, then we have Tuesday, and then today is Wednesday. So we'll get that little dimensional backing off of there. And then tomorrow I will be back. Oh my gosh, I'll actually have to announce that tomorrow morning or tonight I will post to let you guys know what time it will be. They came to look at one appliance today and they're looking at the other appliance tomorrow. So I think today was the washer, tomorrow's the dryer, or the other way. Yeah, today was the washer, tomorrow's the dryer. And I will be here and have to help them to the appliances. So that might make going live a little tricky during the day. So I will post either tonight or tomorrow to let you guys know what time. Hey, Karen, the other Karen. Thank you. I love adding that little bit, and I actually played around with it, pattern only or adding the navy, and I kept coming back to adding the navy. So thank you very much. Yeah, just some wonky things again tomorrow till we get all these appliances figured out. Both the washer and the dryer are having issues, and we only got them when we had to rip out the basement, so they're not very old. Thankfully, they're on warranty, but they have to come and look at it tomorrow. So it may be evening, but I will post an update to let you guys know what time it will be. But I will be back tomorrow with project number 4, and then I'll be back Friday with project number 5. So once again, if you would like to earn this week's card kits, you are welcome to go on my website, and your $65 purchase will qualify you for the kits. And then you would just need to use this host code, or I do have an order that I'll be placing, so I could always add it to that one. You would just need to message me either way and say that you would like the Mediterranean Blooms card kit with your order, and then I'll know that that's what it is to go towards. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow. I'll post the time for you guys, and I hope you guys all have a good night. Bye, everyone.